Ladies and gentlemen, the sun is out. The transfer window is open, and it's already starting to feel like another hectic summer at Celtic Football Club. There's something in the air when this time of year rolls around. The speculation, the whispers, the excitement of who might walk through those doors at Lennoxtown. And as always, the rumors are flying left, right, and center. We've got our eyes on a new left back. There's talk of a possible windfall from a former fan favorite, and even a returning loanee who might yet have a say in the team's future. A lot is brewing in the east end of Glasgow. So let's dive right into it. Right off the bat, let's talk about the latest name doing the rounds. Harley Mills, the young English left back from Peterborough United, has popped up on Celtic's radar, and it's one of those links that just seems to make a bit of sense. Reports are suggesting that the club is eyeing Mills as a potential backup, or maybe even a long-term successor, to Kieran Tierney. Now, obviously, Kieran coming back was a massive boost for the club, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone better at that position in the league. But we all know how demanding the schedule is, especially with European football back on the cards. We need depth. We need someone who can step in when needed, develop in the shadows of someone like Tierney, and be ready when the call comes. That's where Harley Mills could come in. The interesting part here is that Celtic might already be a wee bit late to the party. Fulham, according to several outlets, have already made an offer of around £1 million for the lad. And that's nothing to scoff at, considering he's still developing and had just a breakout second half to the season with Peterborough. From what's being reported, he caught a lot of attention during their promotion run, and with a left foot that's been described as magical by his coaches. You can see why. Fulham might be in the Premier League, but let's be honest, Celtic can still offer something they can't. The chance to play in Europe, the opportunity to compete for silverware every season, and the sheer magnitude of playing for one of the biggest clubs in the UK. That said, we also know how tempting the Premier League is for young English talents. The money, the spotlight, the pathway, it's a tough competition to win, especially when clubs down south are throwing big wages around like confetti. But let's say Celtic do decide to go toe-to-toe with Fulham for Mills, it wouldn't be a bad bit of business. £1 million for a player of his potential is smart spending. Calculated risk with plenty of upside. The kid's shown he's got the attitude too. According to his under-21s coach at Peterborough, Mills was outstanding in the second half of the season, becoming one of the most consistent performers in the squad. They said he values defending, has a quality left foot, and even took a loan spell at a non-league side in stride. No complaints, just hard work. That's the sort of mentality you want in your squad. No ego, just hunger from a squad building perspective. It's the kind of move that fits perfectly. You got Tierney as your main man, a seasoned pro who knows the club inside and out, who's played at the highest level. Then you bring in someone young, someone with raw potential, who can learn, grow, and eventually challenge for that starting spot. Whether it's for cup games, lesser league fixtures, or even the odd European night when rotation's necessary, having that sort of depth is what separates the good squads from the great ones. And let's face it, Celtic have had issues in the past with lacking proper cover in key areas. This is the chance to rectify that. There's always a danger, though, that these types of rumors fade as quickly as they appear. We've seen it all before. A name pops up, the fans get excited, and within days the trail goes cold. That could happen here too. With Fulham already making their move, if Celtic don't act fast, the door might shut before they even get a foot in. It's not just Fulham either. There are whispers of other mid-table English clubs sniffing around. And while the club's stature and European pull are still big draws, they don't always trump the financial packages offered elsewhere. Still, there's hope. If the player's ambitious, if he's thinking long-term development and not just a quick payday, then Celtic could be a very attractive proposition. It's also worth noting that Mills would be the kind of profile that aligns with what Celtic have been trying to do in recent years, signing young talent with potential resale value. Think of the likes of Jeremy Frimpong or even Matt O'Reilly, guys who came in young, developed at the club, and eventually made big moves that benefited both their careers and Celtic's coffers. If Harley Mills can follow a similar trajectory, it's a win-win for everyone. Develop here, shine here, move on when the time is right. That's the model, and it's one that's worked before, and that's where the O'Reilly situation comes in. Because funnily enough, he's back in the headlines too. Even though he's no longer a Celtic player, he could be about to do us another favor. The word going around is that Brighton might be open to selling him this summer, and that means Celtic could be due a nice little payday thanks to the sell-on clause baked into his original transfer. Last year, O'Reilly moved to Brighton for a fee believed to be in the region of £25 million, and it was reported that Celtic included a 10% sell-on clause in that deal. Now, if Brighton do decide to cash in and the fee goes north of 30 or even 40 million, that's a decent amount heading straight back to Celtic's bank account. Everton are apparently keen on the midfielder, and there's also interest from clubs across Europe, notably in Serie A. O'Reilly's had a frustrating season, plagued by injuries, but when he's been fit, he's shown glimpses of the quality we all remember from his time in Glasgow. He even bagged a goal late in the season and had that memorable strike against Manchester City earlier in the campaign. Brighton's midfield is stacked, so it wouldn't be a shock to see them move a few pieces around, and O'Reilly could be one of them. The speculation is that any potential sale would be in the 35 to 45 million range, which would mean Celtic pocketing a tidy sum for a player who's already long gone. And that's what smart business looks like, including clauses like that, thinking ahead, protecting your assets. That's how clubs like Celtic need to operate in the modern game. We might not be throwing around Premier League money, but we can still play smart, we can still build well, and we can still benefit from the success of players who came through our system. These bits of income might seem small on their own, but when you add them up, Frimpong here, O'Reilly there, it starts to build a decent transfer budget. So if the club wants to go out and spend on someone like Harley Mills or reinvest in other areas of the squad, these unexpected windfalls make that possible. It gives you flexibility. You're not just relying on season ticket revenue or European money. You're actually seeing returns from past decisions, and that's the sign of a club moving in the right direction. Now, speaking of past decisions, there's one name making the rounds again that might divide opinion: Marco Tilio. The Australian winger is set to return to Celtic after a loan spell with Melbourne City, and he's been speaking to the media back home about what lies ahead. He said he wants to be playing regularly in Europe next season, but whether that's at Celtic or somewhere else remains to be seen. His loan stint in Australia went quite well by all accounts. He's looked sharp, scored goals, and put in a number of solid performances. But let's be honest, the A-League is not exactly the same standard as the Scottish Premiership, let alone European competitions. That's the dilemma facing Celtic right now. They spent over £1 million on Tilio, and he's barely featured. For the club, loaning him out again might not be the best option, but keeping him around if he's not going to contribute doesn't make much sense either. He'll get a shot in pre-season, that's for sure. He'll train, he'll play some friendlies, and then the coaching staff will have a decision to make. Does he have what it takes to fight for a place in the squad? Or is it time to cut our losses and move him on? There's no shame in saying it didn't work out. Sometimes that's just football. But if there's still something there, some spark that can be reignited in a different system, under different conditions, maybe there's one last chance for Tilio to make it work in Glasgow. At the end of the day, you want every player who pulls on the shirt to succeed, whether they came through the academy, signed for big money, or arrived quietly with little fanfare. The goal is the same. So let's see what happens when Tilio comes back. Maybe he turns a few heads in training, maybe he gets a run in pre-season and surprises a few people. Stranger things have happened. One thing's for sure, the next few weeks are going to be busy. Deals will be done, rumors will swirl, and Celtic will be right in the thick of it all. Whether it's new signings, returning faces, or smart financial moves paying off, it's shaping up to be a fascinating summer in paradise. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling around the Scottish football scene this week as reports emerge suggesting that none other than Sergio Ramos, the legendary Spanish centre-back, could be on the brink of a sensational move to Celtic Park. Sources close to the situation hint that the veteran defender has already agreed, in principle, to a short-term contract with the Hoops, in what would surely go down as one of the most unexpected signings in recent Scottish football history. Although there has been no official confirmation from the club or the players' representatives, the rumor mill has been in overdrive since the weekend. with several fans claiming to have spotted Ramos in Glasgow, sparking a frenzy on social media. If the reports are to be believed, the 39-year-old is set to bolster Celtic's defensive ranks for the upcoming European campaign, bringing with him a wealth of experience from his illustrious stints at Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, and Sevilla. Celtic. Gaffer Brendan Rodgers has remained tight-lipped on the matter, neither confirming nor denying the speculation, only adding fuel to the fire with his usual cryptic remarks about always looking to add quality to the squad when the right opportunity arises. Football pundits are divided over the prospect of Ramos donning the famous green and white hoops. Some argue that his leadership and winning mentality could be invaluable, especially in Europe, while others question whether his age and fitness levels could match the intensity of the Scottish Premiership. The potential deal is said to be structured as a short-term contract, perhaps until the end of the season, with performance-related clauses included. Insiders suggest that the move appeals to Ramos as a final challenge before retirement, with the lure of adding yet another league title to his glittering CV proving difficult to resist. As of now, it remains in the realm of rumor, but one thing's for certain. The very idea of Sergio Ramos marshalling the Celtic defense has already captured the imagination of fans across the country. Whether there's any substance to these whispers, or if it's merely wishful thinking, will soon be revealed as the summer transfer window progresses. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.